Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about appointment setting, more specifically, the triage call, even more specifically, how to end the triage call. How are you going to formulate your triage pitch so that the person that you're speaking to, the prospect, wants to show up to that sales call, is super, super excited and ready to go. For those of you that are kind of new, don't really know what a triage call is, essentially, triage call is just that first, usually 15 to 20 minute conversation that an appointment setter would have with a lead that came into the system. So lead would come into the system through various means, maybe opting in for some sort of free material, giving their phone number. The appointment setter's job is to call those phone numbers, have a conversation, and qualify the person. So they're going to call them and say, hey, saw you just downloaded XYZ resource. If you had a minute, usually we could send you something that's a little bit more applicable for your situation. Sound good? Cool. What made you want to opt in? And then you start the call, you start the conversation, you're asking them some questions to see if they're qualified to then go on and speak with a closer, go on and speak with the sales professional. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is, once you've gone through that conversation, that triage call, at the very end, how do we actually offer the next step? How do we offer the call with the closer in a way that makes sense, in a way that doesn't come across as super salesy, and in a way that gets them excited and ready to move forward? And the way I usually break it up when I'm training appointment setters is a 4-step process that I have them walk through. And this is something that can fit into pretty much any offer, but it's a 4-step process that they want to take them through at the end of that conversation when they're setting the call, with the first one being agreement on the problem, the second one being agreement on lifestyle, the third one being agreement on the work, and the last step being to set the actual call. Now, when I say works on any offer, this is particularly, coaching, consulting, agency services, high ticket products or services. And I'll walk you through, starting off with step 1. When you've already gone through the call, you're going to confirm and be on the same page, get that agreement that of what the problem they are here to solve is, right? So I'm going to say, hey, can I give you my thoughts? That's, after everything else in the call. Hey, can I give you some of my thoughts? They say, sure. And I say, it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, the main problem is this. And if you could just plug something like this in, you'd be good, right? They get their agreement. They're going to say, yes, 100%. Like, that's my problem. That's where I'm at. You get me. Awesome. We're in alignment. We're in agreement there. Then second step, which is agreement on the lifestyle. That's where I'm going to say, cool. Well, I think in that case, what you should do is this, because if you do, you're going to benefit in this way, this way, this way. And the reason why I say it's agreement on the lifestyle is because we're going to tie the vehicle to the goal. What we want them to do when they're showing up to that call is 2 things. 1, understand that they need to make a change. And 2, if you're a really good setter, they'll also be at least a little bit sold on the vehicle of change, right? So I want them to understand how the vehicle gets them to that lifestyle. And to give you a kind of a quick example here, because I know it can be a little bit confusing if I'm explaining in a vague way. Let's say I was, on a call selling a program to help someone get into remote sales, help someone become a closer. Let's say their main problem was they just hate their 9-to-5. They want to quit. They're working all these hours. They have a strong work ethic, but they hate, their boss is rude to them. They're not making enough money. They're never home to spend time with the family because they're always traveling for work, whatever, right? So that's going to be the problem. And then the lifestyle and how I tie that in is by saying something like, awesome. Can I give you my thoughts? Sure. Well, it sounds like the main problem here is, you're a hard worker. You're putting in all this time, but you're not putting your effort into the right vehicle that's going to get you to where you want to be, right? Because not only are you working all of these hours, but you're just not making the money that allows you to do XYZ with your family. And what you need is to be able to take all of that energy, put it in the right vehicle, and build skills in a industry that's going to allow you to live the way you want to live. Am I right with that? they'd say they'd agree. Yeah, you're spot on. That's exactly it. I need to kind of switch up the industry that I'm in and have a better vehicle. Then second step, which is agreement on lifestyle, I'm going to say, well, yeah, I mean, and like if you're really serious about getting to a place where you can work remotely, still make, cover your expenses, make 10K plus a month, and be able to spend more time with the family, ultimately like you said you wanted, there's really no better path than like becoming a remote closer. Because once you do, all you're really doing is having conversations with people for 6 to 8 hours a day. Your full-time job is swapped with these conversations where you're on Zoom helping people solve their problems and selling a product or service that you can get really excited about. Is that kind of, can you see yourself living that way? Is that something that sounds along the lines of what you might be looking for? And we get their agreement there. So now we got their agreement on what the problem is. We got their agreement on the lifestyle. They're like, yes, that's my problem. Yes, okay. I mean, I like that lifestyle sounds pretty good. I definitely want to do that. Then we get their agreement on the work. That's the third part that I said. And the way we would get their agreement on the work is we want to bring it down to reality, right? We want to put some realism in there, because when things are so way too good to be true, that's when the skepticism starts to come up. That's when they're like, oh, what is this thing? What is this guy trying to throw out here? So I'm going to say, well, honestly, in order to make it work, there's a few things you're going to have to learn. One, you're going to have to build the skill set. You're going to have to learn how to sell. And two, you're going to have to learn how to source opportunities so you can find a gig that works for you, works for your schedule, and is selling something that you can really get behind and you believe in. Are you willing to take some time to learn that stuff and learn how to do that? If everything's in alignment and the conversation went well, they should agree to that too. So now we've got 3 steps. We've gotten their agreement on the problem. They're like, yes, my problem is this. Second step, they agree with the lifestyle and the vehicle that will get them there. Hey, there's, if you want this, there's no better way than to do this, because once you do, this is kind of lifestyle that comes from that. Is that kind of what you're looking for? Yes, cool. Got their agreement on lifestyle. 3, get their agreement on the work. Well, okay. Honestly, it can be a little bit different for everyone. So, but you're really going to have to learn this and this if you want to make it work. Are you willing to put in some time to build the skill set, learn some skills? Yes, cool. Problem, lifestyle, work. And then last step is we're going to sell the call. And that's where I'm going to say, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it can be different for everyone. I think what makes the most sense in that case is, why don't you jump on a call with someone on our team? You guys can have a deeper conversation about this and really, get to know each other. And from there, you guys can go through the steps A to Z of what it would look like to become a remote closer. And you guys can make a decision and see if it's something that even makes sense for you to do in the first place. Are you open to that, or what were you thinking? Right? Then usually they'd agree to that step because, one, there's value in the call. The last step is not selling the program, it's selling the value they're going to get on the call, and obviously leaving the door open for there to be a no there. It's like, hey, let's get on the call and see if it even makes sense for you to do this in the first place. Let's really diagnose this. Let's make a decision together. Let's work through it. In worst case scenario, you leave the call with an A to Z plan on how you can actually move forward with this if it's something you decide you wanted to do. So after that, usually they say, yeah, I'd be open to it. I'd be excited to get on the call. Let's do it. And now the difference of going through this 4-step framework, as opposed to some other ones where people are just like, hey, thanks for answering all my questions, I think what makes the most sense if you get on a call is you're kind of allowing them to, one, sell you on why they should get on the call, because it's kind of like, well, this is your problem, right? Okay, well, I mean, in that case, if you want to get to here, you should this is a good vehicle, because this vehicle creates this lifestyle. Is that the lifestyle you're looking to have? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, in that case, I will let you know there is some work that has to be done. You're going to have to learn to do this. You're going to have to learn to do this. Are you willing to learn that and put in some work? They're like, yeah, I'm willing to learn that. Oh, okay. I mean, with all 3 of those things checked off, I think what makes the most sense is if you just jump on with our team and have a deeper discussion. I mean, we've only been talking for 15 minutes. You guys could chat more and see what makes the most sense. And they're usually much more willing to go through the process, usually much more willing to book the call. The show rates are much higher when this is done right. And it's a good time, because that's what you want as an appointment setter. You want people that are, they know they need to make a change. they at least have some idea of the vehicle and are sold on the vehicle that they want to, that's going to get them to where they want to go. If they're pre-sold on the vehicle, you're just going to set layups for the closer. You're going to have a high show rate, high close rate, and make a lot of money as an appointment setter. So that's kind of the 4-step process I have people go through. If you're an appointment setter, if you do triage calls, try it out. It works like a charm. I've seen it work across multiple different industries. Try it out. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you guys in the next video.